See, it feels like my screwdriver extension actually caught grip on the weird security screws in here. So I might be able just to open up the GameCube with just an extension on my screwdriver, not even a bit, just because of the weird screws they use. So we'll take a quick look at that, but I mean, yeah, I might be able to do it just with that tool, nothing else. Quickly went for handheld, trying to get a look down there. You can kind of see. We'll take a look if I can get them out. The general idea is that it's basically an inverted hex screw, like it's the hex bit instead of the actual hex screw, which makes it kind of weird, and it's kind of their security idea, which, I mean, there's all kinds of kits to break in, but I just happen to feel some grip on just the extension of my screwdriver, so if that works, then gee, we're in, hooray! Let's try. This side feels really loose. I definitely loosened it. I don't know if I undid it, but let's get the other ones and see how far we get. That lighting's horrible. It's just there, just so it's there. Oh, it might be sliding. Oh, a lot of pressure. Okay. Yeah, it's slipping, but oh, yeah, it's definitely moving. I don't know if I should try showing. Darn near impossible to make this video any quality and show. So basically, it's much higher now. So unbelievable. Yeah, we're getting loose now. So I'm breaking in. No secrets? That's pretty loose. Oh, or it's free. Let's try it this way. Oops. Ah! Never opened a GameCube, never looked inside one. It's just my favorite console. I've never felt the need to kill one like this. Ah, it didn't work anyway. Such a unique design. You'll always be in my heart, GameCube. Well, I didn't plan on doing a video of me opening this, so I don't know what to do right now. Everything's apart, yet nothing comes apart. No wonder my GameCube doesn't work. And neither does my autofocus. Look at that. It's not even in the joint. Not even a little peg hole thing. It's not even in there. Look, let's turn this around here. Oh, look on top. See? Look. Got it right there. Jeez. Take this up. Oh, there's more in the back. 0 progress was made. Hey, look. I can take this part slowly at a time here. Well, we got a cool little fan. It's a Nidec. And the power connector with no protection on it or anything, so you gotta hope that you have a good power supply. So that just comes straight in, I guess. We'll take an in-depth look at the power for the fan in a second, but it might just run straight off the, what is it, 14 volts? It should be 12 volts, am I crazy? Oh, I'm dying. Yeah, so it should just be powered straight off the 12 volts, so that's pretty cool. Alright, now we can get to that screw. Oh, and there's more under there. Yeah, you're making a daze of it if you're trying to take one of these apart. Looks like all the screws are the same, so that's a plus. Oh, okay. So the flat flex just comes straight out. There's none of those grippy connectors on it. So you can remove this fairly early on, actually. Huh? Well, that frees the shielding. Is that just for the shielding? We will excuse any background noise and continue. So it was freed earlier. Ah! Whoa, a connector. Oh, that's really crazy. Have to catch my breath every 3 minutes, but that's okay. Wow, so excited I can't talk. So they actually use a connector to go from the main board to the disk system. So that's really cool then. So you can just take that right off. I mean, you know, they don't expect you to do, well, I mean, I guess they don't expect you to do repairs on these. Well, there's not much once you get to that off. The processor is going to be straight under that heatsink, or the processors. Now you take all that off and you don't get any progress. Side A. Oh, it's labeled. Side A. I'll have to get better shots of all this. Reflections! Blind the camera! They got an NEC part on top. Sharp 070XZ1H. Probably a voltmeter there. Got an oscillator on here. It's 54. So 54 megahertz probably. Different surface mount caps. A lot of smaller package stuff for power. So mostly just power and protection, as well as the clock or reference. And so there's the flat flex up front again with test pads. I actually have test pads for it, so that's kind of cool. They can kind of either, I guess, drop in data, or they can pull front, make sure it's working. So that's cool. Really dusty. So the dust goes straight through. But that's actually a really cool cooling design. I guess it's sufficient. Or maybe not, if that's why I killed it. Don't know. So anyway, this is fairly stuck in here, and I can't tell how yet. Okay, tabs for stuff. Is it tabs? That'd be weird. I think it's just grounding reference. Some sort of chassis ground. Well, since I know it's pretty much dead, I might just take the heatsink off anyway. Screw it. Doesn't work. Well, I guess technically it always worked, but... crap. I guess technically my GameCube still worked, but it's what developed my save every 3 seconds habit, because it would have a tendency to just... God. Flathead? It'd have a tendency just to die at random moments, so it's like... Oh, quick, you did something in the game, save, because it could just turn off any moment now. It's also where I learned my Photoshop habits of saving every 3 seconds. Oh, it's going to crash, quickly save. Alright, so these weird parts go on the heatsink with the little washer part on them. So I'll promptly forget that, but I wrote it down. Can I run my GameCube's an SLI? Well, it's ATI parts, so I guess it'd be crossfire. Can I crossfire my GameCube GPUs? No? Are you saying I'm crazy and it's very custom parts? Because that's just mean if you're thinking I'm some guy that's like, it's just 5450 in here, right? Alright, we're about to reveal what powered all of my childhood games here. Well, all of my childhood games when I got a GameCube, I guess. Take the heatsink off, really remove the whole processor? Or the whole processing board? Whatever. Oh. Alright, well, let's take this off and figure out the standoffs. Or that's some really good... Yeah, greasy. Now it'll come apart? Okay. So, lift that off. Alrighty. Oh, and there's a bottom connector. Oh, that's crazy populated on the bottom. Alright. There's another board down below, actually. Interesting. Kind of an expansion or power. No, it's the power. There we go. Power's on the bottom. Okay. Wow, I really like the design. Side B. DP... different error. Okay. Why is this still stuck on here? Is it just the glue? Oh, that's a thick amount of thermal paste. I think, yeah, it's like they're the thermal pads. All right, so let's. Perfect. Yeah, easy that was. She needs a little screwdriver like that. All right, I stuck it back on. ATI. Ooh, really crazy thermal case. The other pad's stuck on the chip. That sucks a little bit. So that must be the GPU because it says Doll CPU 10. So that's Dolphin. Oh, and then it's the flipper, of course. How could I have forgotten? So that's the ATI flipper. Copyright 2000. So this is is that DRAM or is this RAM? Oh, whatever ARAM is. ARAM Dolphin. So that must be some sort of specialized part. Just take the pad right off. It feels weird. IBM, that's right. Forgot they use IBM stuff in here. Probably put that on upside down. So we got the IBM processor as their CPU, which I had remembered that Nintendo mostly uses IBM parts. It's kind of like a PowerPC architecture, but not really, since, you know, they still use the really custom stuff, and it's not like x86 or ARM or anything like we're used to. So that's the part for it. Nothing too special, model number, but yeah, again, that ATI chip is Flipper to go along with the Dolphin theme of the GameCube. So we'll take a look at the power rails in a second, but again, more glam shots for this. But on the back, we got a large connector, and then the expansion connectors that you're used to for like your, I forget, you know what I mean, the Game Boy Advance player and stuff like that. And the whole maybe two things that used it. But I'm sure there's a lot of cool hacks out there using like the serial port and stuff, so I'll have to look into that. Pretty high density stuff, but yeah, fairly nice board. Yeah, again, we have some weird ARAM, but it has DOL, so it's probably a completely custom NEC part for Nintendo on that, so that would probably explain it there. Yep. 2-layer board. It's got AB in gold, and then AB in just solder mask, and then you have BA in solder mask and BA in gold. That's probably a 2-layer board mark right there, which would be crazy if it's just 2 layers, but I guess they could do it. I'll figure it out later. Nope, 7, 8. 7, 8 what? 22, that's just numbering. Alright. So that's the main board. Let's get the power board figured out. So of course we have more stuff to make this a pain to get into. And here's our shield. Nice metal here. Oh, it's got its own nice little board. So okay, so you do have some power protection on the board coming in. There, I'll take this board out. We'll look at it. Although I bet there's not much else to it. So it's probably just generating like, you know, your 3 volt maybe, or your 3.3 volt, maybe your 5 volt rails. Oh. I could have just done that earlier. Alright, so the little shield can comes straight out there. Oh, the screws are holding it on. Oh, that's smart. Okay. I've gutted it. And then we get into our power. Let's take a quick look at the front panel I/O, if that's what you want to call it. So you got the cool little switch to detect if it's open. Of course, your flat flex. Looks like there's some ground connections there. Your top LED, the little orange one. A battery on it. Real-time clock. That's something that would probably power. I'm a little crazy. Anyway, so let's take this apart, and I'm sure there's not a great deal on the other side. It'll work. Oh, there's some little tabs here for the controllers. Okay, take that off. All right, so now we can see there's nothing else on this panel really. There's your LED resistor, the solder connections for your switch, the battery, which is just a regular Maxell, Hitachi Maxell. Yep. CR something 32, probably 232, whatever. Dolphin front O2. Hey. Your connectors, Nice little plastic package here. Okay, yeah, so then your solder. So there's, you know, nothing really here. I'm sure all the protection and everything else is on the other side. So yeah, there's probably power coming out of some of these connections. I could test the battery in a second, since there's clearly no real-time clock on here. That's all going to be on the main board. So I guess that just makes it easy to change the battery out. Take the top off. Yeah, it'd be right there. So yeah, that's a cool design. So you can switch the battery out. So it'd be like you take it into a shop and they can probably just whack one of these open. Hey, there you go. Battery's fixed. Which, I don't know. I'd have to test my working GameCube and go, is there really a problem with the battery? I never had one of these die on me. And it certainly tells that this one's been in storage for all this crazy time. Hasn't done anything weird, so... Not as bad as like Amiga 500s and such that which eat themselves. So that's good. That's a plus. It's ABS. Jump to several months later. Let's finish up the teardown of this GameCube by looking at what's under this can for the disc reader. Well, we open it up and we get to a Panasonic chip, and that's about it, which is no fun. Let's delve further. Good enough improvement there. GCD1, GCD2, how useful. Interesting shiny chips down here. Where does this cable go? Let's can we deconstruct further? Not very helpful. Alright. There are these odd little chips right here, which I don't really know what they are for. And then just a bunch of caps and so on. Is that a small clock crystal type thing? Here's an interesting way to do stuff. .93, I can assume megahertz. Oh, that's an even better way to do things. Alright, so just use a magnifying glass so you can keep the camera at some weird distance and just zoom right on it. No idea what that is. Oh, that's how you get interesting effects there. I'm having a flashback. Back on this front side here, there's that Panasonic part. Let's see if I can take any more of this apart. It seems kind of odd that this is resisting me. Let's see. There's some more boards and stuff inside there, of course. Oh, that kind of makes sense. Dusty. So now we're just into basic CD drive stuff. There's the motor for the lens laser device. There's the disc spinning motor. All the driver and support stuff for the actual laser reader. There's some of those chip on flex type stuff. Interesting little packages with the little white circle on the blue. I don't quite know what that is. Stands up on its own. No idea what those are. Test points in the flags. Nothing exciting. I don't know what is to be gained by tearing apart even further. As far as I'm aware, that is the infamous pot that is used to adjust, make some sort of fine adjustment for using, say, custom discs or various other weird discs in the reader. Omitted part, or is it just a weird test point area? I like the writing on there. My favorite part is the cute little screw icons that tell you where to put the screws and not put them in the little holes that lead to posts. So that's cool. That's about all I have to say about that. So I remember doing a poor job of kind of doing a quick overview of this power supply from the GameCube earlier, but I think I'm actually going to do a separate video kind of investigating the whole thing, because I really like how tiny it is. Yet, I mean, I know it gives off all kinds of different voltage and so on. Plus, anything with giant inductors like this is pretty cool. So, another little inductor, interesting thing on the input. There's pretty much the brains of the power supply, and then on the back it's just all kinds of little tiny support chips here, tons of caps, a bunch of populated stuff down here, and I like the nice connector they went with for the outputs of it. So it's a really nice little power supply, which I know has to give off all kinds of different supplies for each and every single part. It's only a 12 volt DC in as far as I'm aware. But let's kind of quickly look at the chips in the back here. So it's a bunch of these little guys right there. I think they're all the same. No, they actually have different numbers in each of them. But yeah, so this is a very quick and dirty look at the GameCube power supply. But I do like they include a nice little tiny fuse on it. And really, that's still not even all the parts you could break a GameCube down into. That's just about as many as I want to break it into, though. So yeah, I've quite enjoyed taking this apart to kind of see what makes the magic happen. It's pretty interesting. I'll probably do some follow-up videos on it and continue working. But that has been my look into the Nintendo GameCube.